Hi there, my name is Catherine Kelly in case you haven't seen any of my videos before. Today I'm here to talk about my top 5 favorite foundations. So I'm going to work all the way from number 5 to my number 1 most favorite. If you like this video or any other videos you've seen of mine, I would really like it if you subscribe to my channel, but let's get started on the foundations. Okay, so the first foundation I have to talk about is this Maybelline Fit Me, and this is the Hydrate and Smooth formula. I have been using the matte and poreless formula for a really long time, but last time I went to go get it at the drugstore, it wasn't available in my shade, so I picked up this Hydrate and Smooth one in the shade 110 Porcelain. And this really surprised me, actually. I didn't think that I was going to like it. It says it's for normal to dry skin, and I would say that my skin is a little bit more normal, but it does pull a little bit oily in the T-zone, so I didn't think that I would really be a big fan of this. But to me, it's actually super similar to the matte and poreless. I don't find like a huge discrepancy. Like, I don't find that this is like super dewy or anything like that. It just kind of leaves like a nice finish on the skin, and it actually works really well to fill in any of the pores that you have. And it does last a really long time, so even though it's Hydrate and Smooth, I don't find that in my oily areas I get super oily and then the foundation like goes away really fast or anything. So yeah, I've really been liking that, and the coverage is, I would say, medium coverage. But yeah, if you've ever tried the matte and poreless Fit Me, this one is pretty similar. Okay, moving on to number 4, I have this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. So I think this is one of Clinique's more popular foundation, and it's honestly one of the only like Clinique products that I've ever tried, but it was probably like pretty big about a year ago on social media and stuff, and so that's when I picked it up, and I've had it for quite a while. I do have it here in my summer shade, which is shade 7 Cream. I picked this up last year when I was in Vegas, and I used it pretty much like the whole summer. Now it is a little bit too dark for me, as you can probably tell, but I would like to get a lighter shade. It has like the big doe foot applicator, so I can just show you a little bit of a swatch. So yeah, obviously you can tell it's way too dark for me, but it is really thick, and as you can tell, that's like super opaque and has a lot of pigmentation. So I absolutely love this. It is super full coverage. It looks so smooth on the skin. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it is super full coverage, but it also has that like effect that like you can still see your skin through it, but it does cover up any of the imperfections that you have. So unfortunately, I haven't used this in a while because it is a little bit too dark, but I do mix it in. If I have a foundation that's like a little bit too light, I'll tend to mix this in with it. And so I can't wait for the summer to be able to use this again, but I think I am actually going to pick up a lighter shade that I can use now because I really like it. Okay, moving on to number 3. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I have it in the shade Rose Ivory. This is something that took social media by storm again, and this is really good. It's supposed to be really good for like photography and video and that sort of thing. So it's not supposed to cause any flashback or anything like that. I find this to be one of like the most flawless full coverage foundations from the drugstore. I think in Canada it's probably only like $6.99 at Walmart, and it says that it's tested under 7 light conditions and with and without flash, and it doesn't ever show flashback. So I also find that it is really good coverage, and it also has really great lasting power. I can put this on at like 8 o'clock in the morning before I go to work or school or something, and then literally at like 8 o'clock in the night it still looks like 90% of what it did in the morning, so that's really great. So if I ever need a foundation to last a really long time and I'm going to be taking flash photos, I tend to rely on this one. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is the spatula that it comes with. So it looks like this, and for me that's just like not a great way to like put on my foundation. So I normally tend to like take this spatula and put a little bit of it on my hand and then put it on my face, but I don't really like to put the spatula all over my face. So moving on to number 2, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but this is the NYX Mineral Stick Foundation. It is the only stick foundation I have in this video, and I wear the shade 05 Medium Beige. So this is what it looks like. You do get a fair amount of product. This is probably about a third used, so this represents about 2/3 of the product. I find it does last a really long time, and this is my absolute favorite foundation for natural makeup days. So even if I'm just going to like school or work or anything, this is what I wear, because it's not like super full coverage, but it gives you like the exact amount of coverage that you'd want on like a day-to-day basis. Today what I've actually done is put this as a base all over my face. Did about like 2 stripes on each cheek, 1 on my chin, and then 2 on my forehead. And then I actually went in with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation on top of it, and I found that caused like a really nice finish, and I'm actually like a really big fan. That was the first time I tried it today, but I'll probably be doing it a lot more. But yeah, as you can see, if I swatch it right here, this is what it looks like. Again, it is fairly pigmented and opaque, and it just has such a nice finish. It doesn't dry down super matte or anything. You do have to set it with a powder, but it just leaves such a nice, like, natural finish on your skin. Yeah, and it blends out super easy. I would recommend this if you're looking for a new, like, more natural finish foundation. This is definitely my go-to. Okay, now we're down to number 1. So my absolute favorite foundation recently has been the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. I do actually find it really similar to the Clinique one that I mentioned, but it's a fraction of the price. And I did do a review on this, so I won't go too far into it. I'll link that down below. But this is like a fabulous full coverage foundation. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on my lighter shade to arrive, but I've still been wearing this like almost every day. I find a lot of the times, even if I have like a blemish or anything and I put on this foundation, I don't necessarily need to put concealer over my blemish to cover it or anything, so I've really been liking that. And yeah, honestly, I don't think that you can really go wrong with this foundation. If you like more coverage and that sort of thing, I feel like this is the best option to go with at the drugstore, and in Canada it's like $12, which is significantly less expensive than the Clinique one. Okay, so those are the top 5 foundations I've been loving recently. I've kind of been thinking about doing this in like other aspects of my makeup, like maybe doing my top favorite lipsticks or my 5 favorite mascaras, and I think that would be really fun. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I definitely think you should try out these foundations. Again, if you did like the video, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every single Wednesday. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!